Hello, Potato. The year is 2020, and pretty much everything has been canceled since, well, March. There was no Summer Sac Anime, there's been no Sac Comic Con, there was no Roseville Anime, because we've all had to, for good reasons, stay inside and kind of stay away from each other if we didn't live together. But things are starting to get a little bit better. Placer County is getting a little bit better. Our spread has been kept down. So we've been able to do a small event at the Grounds, which I still think is the most easily dated sounding name for an event center ever. We had the SacAnime Swap Meet. This event occurred last Sunday, September the 27th, or at least last Sunday from when I'm recording this. And we, as you can see, we decided to save the $10 and just walk in. I mean, $10 is one person's admission, and there's no reason to park there, as long as you're not afraid of a little bit of walking. It's not like walking into Cal Expo or something. It's a pretty short walk. But as you can see from the side here, there's no sidewalk in. They've made this fairly unfriendly to pedestrians for getting in, because I guess they want their $10. And here's just some empty ground next to the fairgrounds. And as you can see, there's not a huge turnout. This is about a half an hour after the event had started. So, I mean, this isn't as busy as it was going to get. I'm sure it got busier later on in the day. I think it ran from about 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we went in about 10:30. We were there pretty early. Wanted to get in before it got too busy and just kind of see how things looked. See if it looked like it was going to be reasonably safe. There was an event at the fairground the week before. I think it's called the Great Junk Hunt. And I was kind of interested in going to that, but the line to get into that, the traffic getting into that was literally over a block long. It's no, that just doesn't seem like a good idea right now. And to be fair and to be honest, this probably wasn't a good idea either. But, I figured if it really felt too sketchy, we would just turn around and leave. And of course, it wouldn't be a SacAnime event if there weren't big lines to get in. And again, by the time we left, there was no line anymore. I think what happened here is that maybe they weren't quite prepared to open on time. Because like I said, this is about a half an hour after opening. So I think this may just be part of the initial line from when they first opened. They only had 4 windows handling admissions, and one of them was for pre-reg, and one of them was for season pass, lifetime pass. The other 2 were cash and credit. And there weren't a lot of people going to the pre-registration line. I thought of pre-registering for this, but I really didn't know if I was going to feel comfortable when I got there on the day, and I didn't figure there'd be any refunds. So we just figured we'd, see what it was like and go from there. And that the line's wasn't super encouraging, but I figured that it may just be an issue of it being a little slow. It usually is slow, no matter how many people they have serving at SacAnime. The line's generally pretty long and pretty slow. But the fact that 2 of the windows basically weren't really helping anybody didn't help, and they maybe could have had somebody out here to separate the fact that there was a credit line and a cash line, and that might have sped things up a little bit for some people. But as you can see, we're here in the longer line, the cash line, because $10, why put it on the card? And those 2 off to the left there, that's lifetime pass and pre-registration. I'd considered getting the lifetime pass. I mean, we do go to a lot of the events from SacAnime and Sac Comic Con, but it was $200 per person, and they dropped this right before Christmas last year. And that's, $400 is just not something I can pull out right at Christmas time. If they did this again, during the middle of the year, I might go for the lifetime passes. Although a lot of people have been upset because, of course, with a lot of conventions being canceled this year, they haven't gotten to use them much yet. But as long as they live for a few years, they'll make their money's worth. So here we have the Placer Valley Event Center. This is the first time I've ever actually been inside this building. Last time I went to an event at the event center here, or at the Grounds, they were still building this, and that was I think Roseville Comic Con last October. It was the last time I have been to this facility. Because Roseville Comic Con got canceled and Roseville Anime got canceled. So let's check it out inside. It's a big building, and of course, as you can see here, It has standard convention center carpeting, which is to say cheap and ugly. But it's very spacious in here. This would be a good place, I think, for cosplay photo ops and stuff, or maybe to put a few booths in that overflow the main room. It's pretty spacious. I mean, it's not Sacramento Convention Center or anything, but it's not small. Of course, that said, I have no idea what Sacramento Convention Center looks like anymore since they have rebuilt it, and I guess we won't find out until next summer. It appears that they have already canceled SacAnime Winter 2021. So the next SacAnime currently scheduled, I believe, is summer 2021. So yeah, no show in January either, which is probably wise. I mean, even if things are a little back on track by then, it may be hard just to get people to want to put money down or commit time to come to a convention that may not make it. So as you can see here, they have spaced out the vendors pretty well. They've kind of got about maybe a third of the vendors they probably could put in here normally. The aisles are nice and wide. There's basically an empty booth's worth of space between each booth. But also, as you can see, social distancing not really in effect. Just too many people, but the booths are pretty well spaced, and you'll notice in this video that I think everybody's wearing a mask. I don't think anybody in the video is not wearing a mask. Maybe not exactly correctly, but they have them on. So these Star Wars figures caught my eye. A lot of them I noticed are ones that I've seen at Five Below for $5 each, and they're $10 here. And I saw a few booths that had things that I'd seen at Five Below. That doesn't mean they bought them from Five Below, but it means I wasn't going to pay $15 for them. I'm pretty sure this is the booth last year at Roseville Comic Con that I bought my little fake Lego minifigure Freddy and Jason and the girl from The Ring. Was it Sadako, I think is her name? And I didn't see anything there today. And this guy's another regular. If you watched my January SacAnime video, you would have seen his booth there too. It's a little smaller here, partially because I'm sure the spaces were just smaller that were being offered, and partly because it was a one-day event, not a 3-day one, so why would you want to drag in that much stuff? And he's usually got a pretty good variety of things, sometimes maybe a little overpriced. We'll pop back at him later on in the video. Here's one of the shelves. These are where generally the nicer, more expensive pops are. He had a nice, I think it was like a diamond Eeyore that we were looking at. Oh look, it's Constipated Superman. He really has to go. And we'd considered buying, I think it was like a Hot Topic exclusive or something of a diamond Eeyore, but the label was messed up on it, so we didn't get it. Yeah, those look familiar. If you watch my Weekend Magic videos, those are Minnie Mouse, the main attraction items. So yep, this is where they're ending up. What I didn't get any good video of, but those little black boxes on the shelf there next to the Abominable Snowmen, those are actually the Disney Studio key set that briefly went up for sale a few weeks back. And some people got them, I didn't. And they're going to go back up, I guess, later on in October. And I was very tempted to pick them up. I've seen them for stuff for a lot more than he was charging for them online. But I decided I don't need them that badly. I will wait and see if I can get them from Shop Disney, or maybe they'll pop in the Disney Store. A lot of those keys have been popping up in Disney Store. We have Cosplay Moo Moo. We'll be seeing a little bit more of them a little later. Thought I got more video of them, but I don't think I actually have more video of them. And yeah, some figures, just things that caught my eye. Basically, there's plenty of room in here. This will be a good place to do things like Roseville Anime and Roseville Comic Con once things get a little more back to normal. I hadn't noticed her when I was filming. The girl dressed as Kaylee from Firefly. That's a good costume. I didn't even notice her when I was shooting. I really did want to take a look at this booth. They have a lot of Figma and Revoltech and stuff, but this is probably, I'm going to say, the worst setup booth in the entire convention, or swap meet. It's not really a convention. Because you had to go through that little space, which meant absolutely no social distancing. So that's where, some of the vendors maybe didn't do a great job of setting their booths up for social distancing, but I think SacAnime did a good job of setting the room up for it. They made it possible. They didn't really enforce it, but what are they going to do? Walk around and tell everybody, leave space, back up. That's not going to work. They don't even have enough staffing to do that effectively. That just wouldn't work. Yeah, it was a nice show. It was nice to get out again and see people again. And again, like, everybody's wearing their masks. The room is big and spacious and supposedly has some state-of-the-art ventilation system that's supposed to be like circulating the air. I mean, it's been a week. It's been a week since the event, and I haven't come down with anything yet. My wife hasn't come down with anything, and I haven't heard anybody like posting that they've hit positive after going to this. So I'm hoping everybody was nice and healthy when they went, which of course would be a change for a convention because people do usually go when they're sick. Hence the phrase con crud. But lots of neat stuff. Of course, you got to have your swords booth. Not as big as the one we usually get at SacAnime. I wonder if it's the same people though, because that booth always usually has like old anime DVDs as well, and this one just had the swords. So I'm not sure if it's the same booth that I'm thinking of. But again, there are multiple booths at SacAnime that have swords. There wasn't a big lot of like artist. There wasn't like an artist alley area in this. The stuff off in that curtained off area, I believe they had 2 or 3 voice actors there doing autographs. So I didn't go over there. I just didn't want to deal with autograph lines. And it would have been nice to have had more vendors, but it still was nice to see the stuff again. Here we have we've combined, looks like, the masks from The Purge with the guy from Saw. These masks are nice. I don't know that they really count as masks. I really like those goggles. I kind of was tempted to get those goggles. Yeah, this booth has interesting stuff. Those little gray backpacks, if you look at my stuff from January from SacAnime, those are the ones that reflect light when you take pictures of them and look really cool on camera. If I'd had my light on, they probably would have looked really neat. They look good in still photos. But the thing is, they don't really look like anything to the naked eye. So I'm not sure I get the point. Hey, it's Chopper from Star Wars Rebels. Hey, Chop. Those backpacks don't really look like much of anything to the naked eye. So it's part of why I haven't picked them up. And they look kind of nice, though. Also kind of small. I need something to replace my my bag of holding now that Think Geek is no more. And I haven't found anything of the right size. Yeah, this takes the crown as the weirdest booth at SacAnime Swap Meet. I know I've mentioned Damsel in Distress before, and they were there. I don't think I got any video of them, but they were there. And actually, somebody commented on my SacAnime video from January, saying that it's their parents that run that booth, and that it apparently does quite well. So congrats to them. I hope they did well at this. So instead this time I will, I guess, pick on this. It's just random makeup at a folding table with no signage. Nothing sketchy about that at all. Or was that a sign there? Or was that a sign from the other booth? Hey, Freddy. Yeah, it's 2020. The world already is a living nightmare. You aren't that scary anymore. Yeah, we just wander around. It's a good sized space. I know I've said that before because I'm just kind of filling space here and talking. But everybody got their masks on, and lots of cool stuff on display. If you see yourself in this video, understand I wasn't trying to get your face in my video. It's kind of unavoidable when you're shooting in a big crowd like this. Particularly trying to avoid little kids. Luckily, everybody's wearing masks, so I'm not really getting your full face, Some of these dice were really nice and eye-catching, but they're like $30-40 a set. I mean, we don't do a lot of tabletop gaming. Is that a reasonable price for a set of dice? I don't know. I think this is the same guy, the same booth that had that Chopper droid, and this is his current work in progress. I didn't really stay and talk with him or anything, but I definitely like his work. It looks good. He's got a good start on R2-D2 there. Some more toys here. So these figures in the background, when I worked at KB Toys, we used to sell those. They're interesting. You have some figures sometimes that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see, like there's a Union Jack. Yeah, there's Union Jack there. And I remember at KB, I thought this Ranker set's really nice. But at KB, those figures, some of them would sell really well, and some would just sit there on the shelf forever. And some of them, they look kind of neat, and there's a lot of characters. These kind of slightly predate Marvel Legends. They were Toy Biz. So if you remember Toy Biz toys, they always were generally pretty crap. But they're kind of similar to what we call now like Titan figures. I see them sold as Titan figures. So very limited posability. I like those dioramas, that Leatherface and Jason. Some nice work went into those, but I have nowhere to put them. Some cars and some Transformers and more little vinyl things. And all the Conan stuff. I don't know, I've never really got the Conan thing. I've never really been that interested in him. That Leia, that was that Powers of the Force. That series didn't last long, did it? Mystery boxes. Yeah, this is the point. So I don't normally buy anything until I've gone around the room once. And so this is the point where we've gone back around trying to figure out what mystery box or mystery bag I get, because at the end of this video, I will show off the things I purchased at the SacAnime Swap Meet. And there is a mystery box. I was trying to figure out which one to get, which one would be most likely to have something that I would actually want when it comes down to it. I quite liked that Dragon Egg I got at the January SacAnime, but that booth wasn't there. And we have Han Solo and Carbonite. I haven't actually seen that one like in the shelves in the store anywhere either. So that's kind of a nice one. That Child, though, it's another thing I've seen at Five Below for $5. That Xenomorph Pop was interesting too, but I didn't pick that up. And yep, so you see we're just kind of backtracking. We've been past some of this stuff before. We've gone around the whole room now, just kind of going around, looking for anything that we actually do want to purchase. Yeah, those new G.I. Joe figures are nice too. G.I. Joe's always been cool. I wasn't allowed to play with G.I. Joe as a kid though. Here we have a furry vault dweller. Why not? You do you, man. You do you. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to play with G.I. Joe as a kid. I could watch the show and I could have like Transformers and He-Man, but I wasn't allowed war toys. I think we're actually getting towards the end of our video here. Yeah, just taking kind of one last look around. We made our purchases already by this point, and we are going to head out to the exit and go back outside. And yep, pretty soon we'll be getting on to me in the void space, showing you what I purchased. So yep, we'll leave the convention now. And I never really felt terribly uncomfortable in there as far as how many people were there. People were definitely too close, but the room is pretty big, and it feels like it was well ventilated, so hopefully nobody's going to be getting sick from it. Yeah, we'll make our way out of the convention center. Again, lots more room for people to crash and stuff. This will be nice when they do normal conventions here. And of course, before we left, we did stop and check out the one booth that was outside. There wasn't anything super interesting there, some statues and stuff. And I think you'll see in a second here, on the way in, there were those food trucks, and they had no lines then. They do have lines now. This is probably around noon. So we'd been there for a little over an hour. And yep, a lot of people showed up. The line out front had diminished. You'll see that as I leave. Yeah, we didn't get anything at the food truck. Again, just didn't want to wait in line for it. And I don't know if there's any tables and chairs to sit at. That booth was interesting. That booth there actually was encouraging people to either wear gloves to touch stuff, depending on what side of the thing you're on, to wear gloves to pick things up, or at least sanitize. There was hand sanitizer on one side, and there were like disposable food service gloves on the other. So here we'll take kind of just one last look around. There's the lines for the food. There's the old fairground buildings, which will make nice panel rooms, I think, if they use them effectively in future conventions. And use the big event center room as the vendor hall and artist alley. As we head out, we see some nice cosplayers ready for Halloween season already. It wasn't quite October yet, but we do have Jason and Michael and Leatherface there to say hi as we wrap this up. In a minute here, I'm going to cut back to Void Space Me instead of Voiceover Me, and he is going to show you all the items I picked up at the swap meet. Hey, Captain Kirk. But yeah, this is going to wrap it up. In a second here, we're going to jump back to me in the future, or me in the Void Space, and we'll take a look at the things I purchased. Well, thank you, VoiceOver Me, for that wonderful, warm introduction that hopefully I remembered to record because I haven't recorded the voiceover yet. So yeah, as I probably already mentioned, yeah, it's been a week since the event. I am still feeling healthy, so hopefully we will all stay healthy who went to the event. And you can't just have a video about a SacAnime event without going over the things you bought. And I did buy the things. First off, we have a mask. Yep, I showed you, I think, a couple different booths that had masks. I thought this one was kind of neat. It says no signal on it. So I haven't tried it on yet. It's still sealed. It's actually the last one they had. I think it's actually in the video. You can see it. He had to pull it off the display for me because it was the only one of these they had, and I haven't tried it yet, and hopefully it fits. So let's get Mr. Skullhead out, and he'll try it on for us, and then we can see if it's going to fit me or not. So here we go. Once again, Mr. Skullhead has agreed to model for me because he doesn't have much say in the matter anyways. And there's my no signal mask. And I'm going to say it's a little small for me. It's actually got a brand name on it. But I can't. Cosplay Moo Moo. That was actually the name of the booth, wasn't it? I'm sure the sign was visible in the video, right? It's maybe a little small for me, but I could wear it. It's not as bad as, say, certainly not as bad as those T-Public masks. And probably would be a little easier to wear than the Agretzko mask that I found before. It's got some wire up here in the nose, so you can bend it around your nose a little bit, which probably good for glasses wearers in particular, if you want to try to keep that breath from coming up in your glasses. But it's got a nice little staticky pattern and a no signal on it, and I do like it. It's pretty thick. I'm going to say it's thicker than the Disney ones. However, I'm also going to say I think the weak point of this mask is going to be the elastic here. See how stretched it is already? I mean, my head's about this size. That's about how stretched it's going to be on me. Maybe a little less because my ears are farther forward. But yeah, I'm going to have to wear it around, try it out. I do like the look of it, and so I do hope it's comfortable to wear for extended periods. Because I would like to wear this one and, maybe get some more if they're back there at Roseville Comic-Con Swap Meet next month. Next up is this little beauty. It's Han Solo in Carbonite, part of the 40th Anniversary Empire Strikes Back release. It's Pop 364. And there's the other ones in the series you can collect, and I really don't care about them. I just kind of wanted the Han Solo in Carbonite. I hadn't actually seen this on sale anywhere before the swap meet. And so I'm glad I picked it up. It was only $10, which, if I bought it at Box Lunch, it would have been like $13. So I actually probably got it for less than I would have paid if I bought it, at Hot Topic or Box Lunch, although probably about how much I would have paid if I bought it at, say, Target. Let's get him out of the box and take a good look at him, huh? So here he is out of the box, our Han Solo on Carbonite, and of course, being Star Wars, it has to be a bobblehead, which I really hadn't thought about in the package, but yeah, this doesn't really work at all as a bobblehead. It's on a spring, but it doesn't bobble in the slightest unless you push on it. But I guess they figured nobody really wants these things to bobble anyways. But since it's got a good amount of detail for being a pop, obviously you see it from the side, that's a little off-putting. I have a few little Han Solo and Carbonite things. We have like a chocolate mold. I have one of those old 12-inch Star Wars figures of Han Solo and his little Carbonite block. And I have like a light-up wall thing of it. It's just kind of a neat little cute iconic item. And it's really the only one of the 40th Anniversary Star Wars ones that I want, except for maybe I do like the Yoda raising the X-Wing fighter out of the swamp one. But that's huge, and I have enough huge pops now to deal with. I really don't need to be getting more of them. Yep, it's cute. Just kind of a flat back. It's very light. I'd say it feels like lighter because it's just hollow in there. That's just hollow plastic. This is kind of the most unpop-like pop I think that I have in my collection. Yeah, it's nice though. I'm glad I picked it up, and I think $10 was a perfectly reasonable price for it. So you may have noticed a theme so far that for being an anime event, I really didn't get anything that's anime, and we're going to continue on that with this next item. It's the man himself, Stan Lee, part of the Marvel Legends series, Excelsior. I knew I was going to want this figure when I saw it was released. I want to say it's not the first Stan Lee they've done. I know there was one that they originally had planned, I think like as a Build-A-Figure or something, and they had quickly canceled it when he passed away. But they've released this one. This is actually him in his like cameo form from the Avengers. That's why I'm going to wreck everything. That's why he comes with a chessboard there. And of course, a signed Captain America shield. It's a pretty good likeness, I think. I don't know how well it picks up on camera. Let's see if we can... I'm not taking this out of the box, so this is as good a look as we're going to get at him. I think it's a pretty good likeness. I mean, part of me wants to take him out, just because it would be nice to have him, you know, maybe do some pictures with him and some of the other action figures. But I think I'm going to leave him in the box. I paid $25 for him, which I don't think is an awful price. These boxed Legend figures do seem to go for about that. They're a little bit more expensive than the pegboard ones. I mean, it's pegged as well, but these ones seem to go for a little bit of a higher price than the kind of standard Legends figures, despite not really being, figure-wise, generally much more advanced. But this man has had such a tremendous effect on current pop culture that I think it's nice that they made a nice and I think decent and respectful figure out of him. It's good. I'm happy with it. So it wouldn't be a SacAnime event, at least at this point, at least since I started doing videos, if I didn't buy a mystery box. Yep, you saw these in the video. There's a big stack of them. You would have seen this actually in the SacAnime video from January too. And I didn't buy one then. I see these every time I'm there. And I've never bought one before. And there just wasn't a lot of blind box stuff to choose from this time. And I thought, well, we'll give this a try. These are $25. And could be DC, could be Star Wars, could be Marvel. Who knows? And there's a gtoysonline.com on top. And I don't know if that's anything to do with the person selling it, or if that's just where he buys his boxes. But he's a regular fixture at SacAnime and Sacramento Comic-Con. And I've bought things from him before. I don't buy things from him too often. I think sometimes maybe it's a little overpriced. But these are $25, and he said these contain $40 worth of stuff. So why don't we pop it open and find out what $40 worth of stuff I got. As you can see, we have some very magical black duct tape holding it shut on the bottom as well. And yeah, let's open it up and see what our mystery box is. Gotta have a blind box. Gotta have a blind box. Watch it not be any of these things, not Star Wars or Marvel or DC. Watch it be a Rick and Morty pop that I don't want. Probably Purge Suit Morty like I got from the last blind box. That Dragon Egg one I think had that in it. Alright, I'm not making fun. I mean, I don't think I got ripped off on that, and I hope I didn't get ripped off on this either. So what do we got? We got a Dobby Pez Dispenser. I'm gonna be honest, I've never super been into Pez, and ever since Funko, I guess, bought them and started turning all the Pez dispensers into just, you know, severed pop heads on pikes, they don't do too much for me, but that's still cute. That's not awful. I mean, it's not something I would have bought on my own, but it's not awful. All right, next we have, well, it's our first anime-themed item. It's Goku from Dragon Ball Z, and apparently he was originally trying to get $15 for him, and couldn't do it, so he stuck him in a blind box. And that's, you know, that's what you expect these things really to be. They're items they couldn't sell, so they stuck them in a box, so the person, you know, by the time you get home and open up and see what it is, well, it's too late to do anything about it. Yeah, I've never gotten into Dragon Ball. The art style's neat, but I've just never gotten into the show. And you can tell this is old stock, because it's all scuffed up on the front. And our third item is also a pop, which makes sense because most of what he sells is pops, if you remember him from the video. And it's Medusa from, what was it, The Immortals? The Eternals? That show that got canceled after like 1.5 episodes? Yep, and it's really scuffed up. Apparently this was a Hot Topic exclusive. And he wanted $20 for this one and didn't get it. So I'm guessing, yeah, the $40 equals to $20, $15, and this was probably a $5, maybe $10. Inhumans, that was it. The Inhumans. I never watched The Inhumans. I suppose, I think it's on Disney Plus, so I'll probably give it a watch at some point. But yeah, I mean, nothing spectacular there, but I didn't expect spectacular. I just wanted a box to open on video, because it's a thing you do, right? So yeah, that was our first event. The first event since SacAnime that I've gone to. And yep, hopefully everybody was well who went and stays well. Because otherwise, if it turns out that that was a super spreader event, we may have to not see the Roseville Comic-Con swap meet coming up next month, which hopefully I will shoot some video out and do a video from there too. So I hope you found this at all interesting. If you did, please remember to give the video a like and make sure you are subscribed to the channel and ring the little bell so you know when I post more videos. And I will see you in the next video. She really is quite badly scuffed up, isn't she?